Alright, I'm gonna start by giving all glory and praise unto the Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Giving all glory and praise unto those holy and powerful names of Yahweh being the Father and Yahweh Shai being his only begotten Son. This is Brother Malachi coming at you again. Now, what I wanted to do was give a brief update through the spirit of what seems to be going on in Babylon right now. And ultimately, when you get right down to it, this man, Trump, through the powers that be that control him, because we understand that Trump is nothing more than a puppet used by the elites to run Babylon the Great as they see fit. So ultimately, they're pushing this this new DC crime thing, in a homeless situation, but they've ultimately just dropped troops in the middle of DC. You understand? And so ultimately, this is when I first seen it, I thought, hey man, this is basically martial law in a nutshell. And he's also saying that he might do this in other cities as well. So, all in the name of crime, So, things are getting more and more in your face and more, the prophecies of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua are speaking. And ultimately, these prophecies, they touch you. Ultimately, you're going to come in contact with a particular plague or roadblock or hardship that the Lord is going to set you up with to either take you out or to more likely to take you out unless you be of the hopeful light. But this man is ultimately declared martial law, and we're really in the midst of it, and we're gonna get into some scriptures. But before we get into that video, we'll get Jeremiah 30. This is Jeremiah 30:6, and this is precisely the times that we're coming into where, ultimately, no matter what, the situation that you got going on in your personal or your day-to-day, that we got to be prayed up and continue to be prayed up, because these are, the beginning of some very draconian times. It's just finna get serious. Depending on how these troops that they've dropped off in DC, how they conduct themselves. But ultimately, it seems like they're coming with that sword, they're coming with violence. But there's nothing more than what the scripture said. So we're gonna see some things, here in the coming months under this man's administration, and all the whole time that he's been in authority as a president. But anyway, Jeremiah 30:6, it says, "Ask ye now and see whether man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his loins, it's like it with his hands upon his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces turn paleness." That's because the Lord Yahweh is going to allow so much fear and so much panic and distress and anarchy and chaos to be on the earth, that's going to put men in complete terror, as if they gave birth, but men don't give birth, but they're going to be screaming. There's going to be fear. It's going to be tons of that, and a lot of death. A lot of death angels are going to be lurking. Spirits created for vengeance. Basically the day of the Lord, and leading up into it, it's going. Only the hopeful elect are going to be able to escape it. We're seeing the beginning stages of that, and how the 2/3 niggas are going to be quailed, but they're also going to be what's the word, roused up as well, because that prophecy has to hit. But it says in verse 6, as ye, okay, I read that already. Verse 7, alas, for that day is great. And we're talking about Jacob's trouble. So that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And we're looking to be delivered from these things and from the things I'm finna show you on the screen. As these things on the screen that I'm finna show you, these videos, or this one video here, it's gonna intensify. It starts like this, but this is ultimately a soft launch, if you will, of martial law into a place, under the guise of federal. We're gonna federalize. I might be saying that wrong, but they say it here in the video, so I'm gonna let them say it better. But as we watch this, this is Esau, and cleverly, not even cleverly, he's openly, if you have eyes to see, he's coming with the sword. He's coming with the sword. He's utilizing his options, as far as his sword, and now they're talking about increasing ice, and you can just sign up for ice like it ain't nothing, that's gonna get a whole bunch of good boys to come sign up, and that's gonna just be awesome through the spirit. But this is ultimately prophecy. Things are gonna get much worse because the Lord's bringing the plagues, of course. So let me play the video.
And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening. And
there is no more dry run. It is happening right now. And I know that no matter what I cover, some people write in and they say, David, you're downplaying the threat. The next 45 minutes, I'm just going to be saying.
Last night. And they're not going to be fighting back long, because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, they love to spit in the face of the police. As the police are standing up there in uniform, they're standing and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face. And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit.
So Lockie, ultimately just showing you, that Esau finna get hands-on. He's finna get very hands-on with Jake, hands-on with Esau, other Edomites as well. It's finna go there. It's finna really, continue to stir up the pot of prophecy. And, things are finna get, chaotic, as we move further and closer to the digital technocracy that they're looking forward to getting off the forefront in the MOTB, which is